Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for coming on a chilly Sunday morning on a holiday weekend. It's very good to see not only all of you, but each of you. I am particularly honored and gratified that Rabbi Tully Hartstark of SAR High School has joined us. And he was, as usual, extraordinarily sensitive and gracious, and asked me on Friday if I would be in any way uncomfortable having him here when I addressed this topic. And I assured him that just the opposite is true, and that I'm very honored to have him. And in addition to that, I think that all of these discussions would be better held if people imagined that those whose opinions they were discussing were actually seated before them, and what is going on between colleagues, friends, human beings. I think the debate would be ennobled and cleaned up of a lot of its difficulties. First, perhaps I should ask the most basic question, and that is, why am I giving this talk? I don't fall into the categories that would normally find someone at this podium. A, I'm not a professional posek. I'm a mora hora. I try and help my community to find its way in halacha as very best I can. But for the big things, I go to specialists. I'm not a blogger, by which I mean, I say this without, I don't mean it cynically or ironically. I don't necessarily feel the need to take a stand every single time the zephyr of controversy blows over the Jewish people. You won't find me speaking in many areas of controversy. I've occasionally been called to task. Why didn't I give some sort of fiery address on whatever it is that the latest brouhaha is brouhahaing about? And it's not my way. I generally speak only in terms of positive aspiration and in terms of basic principle. I don't necessarily get involved in the trenches. So why is this case, this particular instance, a little bit different? Well, it's primarily different because it is so close to home. It is because my shul has a very long, very proud, and exceedingly positive relationship with SAR. The rabbinic impetus for SAR largely came from my predecessors. One of its components began right in this building, product of the vision of Rabbi Seibel, Zichrono Livrocha, combination of his vision and his adoration of his little girl, whom he couldn't bear the idea of shipping off to Manhattan, and wanted her to have a day school in Riverdale. That is the truth, as the family tells it. The vision of my predecessor, Libodel Echaim, Rabbi Greenberg, who was there when much of the early concept of SAR, not only its concept but its ethos, were being developed. The names of the great lay leaders who both established and shaped SAR through all of the years, including but not limited to Mr. and Mrs. Jesselson, Zichronim Livrocha, Lahavdu Ben Achaim u'Ben Achaim, the Bravmans, the Bentheims, all of those names which are part of SAR legend They were all people whose spiritual home was right here in this building. Perhaps even more, it is the school that has been my partner not only in the great work of raising generations of Jewish children here, and when I say my partner, I don't mean personally, I mean in a corporate sense. This has been the home shul to some of SAR's most outstanding graduates, and I would like to think that the RJC and SAR have been partners through all of these years. Perhaps even more important, and here I do speak personally, SAR is where my own children received their foundations in everything. And we will never cease to be grateful for that. I say these things not in a kind of a wistful past tense. These are all verbs of continuity. And even though numerically there are other communities now which heavily feed the ranks of SAR students, I still feel that SAR is our yeshiva. And I am extremely proud of that relationship. The fact that SAR High School began here in this building, just as did one component of SAR, the Academy, is something, it's a little footnote which will be a proud part of the RJC's history for as long, I believe, as there is an RJC. That great pride extends to the colleagues in Jewish education who are the SAR faculty and administration. And there is a very good argument that Riverdale, as the unique Jewish community that it is, would never have been imaginable if not for the presence and the qualities of the SAR Academy. And so when I suddenly find my yeshiva at the center of an international debate, a debate which is all too often acrimonious, disrespectful, a debate in which the names of people, colleagues, and teachers on either side of the aisle, whom I both respect and love, are dragged through the mud and spoken of with disrespect, I am pained. In addition, because this is a matter of halacha and the clarification of what halacha is and how it is determined and decided, it is also very much within the purview of my responsibilities as the Marda Asra of the shul, as the families of the shul, the members of the shul, turn to me and ask, what is the nature of the halachic identity of the Riverdale Jewish Center, its attitude, and I guess the buck stops here, my attitude in these areas.